Okay. Go live. Alright, it looks like everything's normal. Okay, and it is 0600 AM start. And we go ahead and fix this up like we normally do. And let's find our, there it is. Okay, so now all I gotta do is go to play. And we have to use creative mode. I think it's this one here. Let's see. Alright, yeah, that looks right. Okay, so we've got our creative mode going. And everything looks like it should. Alright, we've extended this a few times. We've got extra plants growing. Okay. Increasing the oxygen of the planet. And what did we open up that we still need to craft? Aha. We haven't done the launch platform yet. We've already started the T3 heaters, but we haven't put grass spreaders in yet. And we've already started, yeah, but we can't do this one because we can't make the rods. So we want to focus on the ore extractor. Alright, so what we would do is we go out here, push the old Q key, find, whoops, we gotta back up the other way. There it is, right there. That's the one that has opened up, but we've got to have the following resources: osmium, iridium rod, super alloy, and aluminum. But we do have a problem there, don't we? Yeah, I think we do. So what do we got for the rod? There it is, it'd be right here. Whoop, not that one, the first one. We can do one. Right now, that's all we could do is the one. Alright, what are we missing in resources? We're missing the osmium and titanium. And we should have some titanium right here. Alright. Osmium. We don't have any osmium. But we could get some osmium. We'd have to run over here to where I've seen osmium before. This would be the closest location. And we would probably want to do it the roundabout way, since we're trying to simulate what it's like for a new player to get started. And he would have to have at least one extra oxygen bottle, cylinder, whatever you want to call it. And we'll have to use the space bar so we could hop up, because this grade is kind of steep going this way. And about now we would probably want to use that extra oxygen bottle to replenish our supply of oxygen. Yep. And we would want to have at least one extra water bottle and one food source, because we have not been in this cave yet. And there's our osmium. So right about now we would say, hey, we need a way to recharge our oxygen. So we would be looking for resources to do like we normally do. Build a structure up here. And I'd probably want to put it right about there. That's the steep side, so I'd want to put the door on this side. Then we go in, we would recharge, and then we would come right back out. And we would start picking up some osmium. And there's some iron. And so far, this is what we've got melted. We've got access, so we're in good shape. Sulfur, I don't remember putting a place together for sulfur yet. Now this is actually not a cave, this is a mine. And when we get enough of this ice melted, we will have some shortcuts. Right now we're blocked. Yeah, right now we're blocked. Now there is another place that we can get some more of this osmium, because we're going to want to put in more of these ore extractors. Use the old space bar. Let's see, nothing up that way we can get to, so we're kind of handicapped. Go ahead and grab some more ore. Whoops, we're full. Our inventory's full. So we recharge our oxygen, and then we would take the long route, hopping and skipping between our recharge station. And from here you can tell we've got quite a few of them laying out and about. So we would recharge our oxygen. Now we may not need all that much of a recharge right here, because we haven't gone that far yet. So we probably go across here. Now we've got a full inventory, so we can't really stop to pick up anything else. We want to go pretty close so we don't fall very far and take a chance of being injured. But while we're up here, we can use the space bar and jump up here and look at the whole valley. And look, what we're looking for is any more of those blue crates. What I said looks like footlockers. So we can look for and claim some, and then we want to jump back down like so we don't take any injury. And hear that nasty crunch sound. And from the looks of things, we've really got this lower valley area where we crash landed in our escape pod. Of course, escape pod might not be the proper term to call that pod that crashed right over there, but those are usually the interplanetary travel. And also later on we'll be able to build an escape rocket that will have that same thing, that little pod on top of it. Alright, so we recharge our oxygen, and we would want to now build our first ore extractor, because these others haven't opened up yet. Now I need titanium. I don't seem to have titanium available, so I remember that it told me my inventory was full, so I would transfer. Well, actually we have a place for that, so let's go ahead and organize. Let's see, super alloy would go in here, and we'll come back and take whatever we need. Aluminum would go there. Food, we don't have any food in here. Cobalt, no, we don't have any cobalt. Fabric, nope. Ice, yes. No, we got the rod but not the individual ore. Iron, yes. Oxygen, yes, we got one. Rod, which we're going to need, so we'll be taking that right back out. Uranium rod, nope. Now we need that, so I'm going to withdraw it. Now, do we have a place for sulfur yet? No. Water, yep. So we'll go ahead and transfer both of those over. And then we'd probably take one back because we're probably starting to get thirsty. Now, this is as good a time as any, before we get too carried away here, to look at our alignment. So what we need is we need one item of each. Whoops, the first one. One item, because we want to figure out where we're supposed to be putting the sulfur. Food, well, we'll just get one of those. One of these. One fabric. Oh, I've got a lot of, yeah, I'm gonna run out of space, aren't I? So let's put these three in here, and let's put those two in there for now, and make sure we're only holding one of each item, because we're trying to get the game to guide us on where to store stuff. Fabric, ice, I think well, take one back. And radium, take one. Iron, take one. Oxygen. Right now you're probably wondering, oh wait a minute, I got two of them. You're probably wondering, well, why is he doing this? Well, it's because I'm trying to organize this properly, so that I could go from one item to the next whenever I do harvesting. Well, I already got one. And I will have all of these in order. Now this does take extra time. It's a little extra effort to make sure you got things aligned properly. So now we'll organize it. And sulfur should be right after the uranium and between the titanium. Now we can kind of tell already we've got a problem. Okay, right after, let's look at that again. So what I need to do is take all the titanium out. We don't have any more, so now's a good convenient time to do this. And we need to go up here, hit the backspace key, enter, and that one now needs to be sulfur. And that's where sulfur will go, and it'll be followed by titanium. So we've got another change we need to make. We need to take all the, whoops, leave that alone. At the backspace, enter, and take this out, and that's where titanium would now be. Now you're going to be doing this quite a bit because the game doesn't give you any guidance on this. Now before we do that, let's see what should follow now. Uranium. And once you get this done to a higher degree than what we've got right now. Oh, water's a good spot. Okay. So now let's go back and store all this stuff. Now that we know where it's supposed to be. And obviously we are going to have to continue this process as soon as we get some more iron, which is what we're going to fix right now. So now we know sulfur has got to go there. And we could also check the spelling this way. Okay, the uranium rod would go there. Now I'm going to keep this because I need this to build my first ore extractor. Now, oh there, we've got another problem, don't we? We don't have a place for osmium yet. And it's supposed to be between these two. See there? Yep, I got the ice. Then I got the fabric. Then the cobalt. got the food. We got the aluminum. And we got the super alloy. Oh, wait a minute. Where's magnesium? Oh, we don't have magnesium in line right either. So darn. We've got more than one change that's going to have to be made. Alright, well, let's turn our attention to getting the first. So I need another osmium, super alloy aluminum, and titanium. So for now, we're just going to have to grab it out of here. And then we need to get one of these. There we go. And one of these. Alright, and what else? Titanium. And now titanium's all the way back here on the second row. You see how much of a nuisance this is? But that's how the game organizes stuff. And if we can ever get in agreement 100%, then life will be a whole lot easier for us. But for now, we'll just focus on the fact that we need an ore extractor. And I'm going to move it out about this far. And it kills my power. Now we don't have what we need. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe we do. Yeah, I think we do, because we do have one uranium rod. I remember seeing that. We got that out of one of the boxes we opened up. There we go. No, that's not the right one. Uranium rod, right? This one. Now we need 3 super alloy, I believe. 1, 2, 3. And now we need 2 water bottles. I didn't stick any in here, did I? No, I didn't. And right there. Okay. And now we're going to install our first. And I'm going to put it. Oh man, I'm stuck. Alright, I'm going to put it right here. Right here out front. And I'm going to rotate till it looks about square. And I'll put it fairly close to the edge. And those provide quite a bit of power. See, they're 86.5 versus 19.5, so that's a significant jump. Now, in my past, when I played this game, once I was able to do something like that, I would start taking down these little ones so I could recycle the parts and pieces that we used to make those. But notice what you would be recycling. Stuff that's basically inconsequential. Just like I recycled a bunch of those. And the only thing I got for my trouble was some more iron. Now, we do want to come out here and find those plants that provide oxygen that we just picked up. We've got these two right here, the 250s. So this will help us a lot with generating oxygen. Now, until I could come up with some more plants, that's the best we could do. And it'll take a while to make a difference. Now, we do have a place for the sulfur. And I think we have a place for silicon, don't we? But we don't have a place for this one. We don't have a place for these, and we don't have a place for these. So let's see, let's go find the sulfur again. Right there. Now the silicon, where did the silicon go? Uh-oh. Don't tell me, we don't have a place for silicon. You see why this can be so frustrating? Every time you turn around you say, wait a minute, I'm supposed to have a storage place for silicon, and I don't. I also don't have enough iron to do more of this kind of thing. Storage conditions. So what you might want to do is you might want to start putting a row right in here and start putting all the missing stuff that should be in proper organization right here. Of course, you could put in that back row, the second row that we started, but to me it seems to make more sense to do it right here. Now we're going to pretend that we've got all the iron we could possibly want, and then I'll leave a small gap like so, and then I'll put in another one. Use the same tight formation we've been using. There we go. And then of course I'd want to put a label up here depending on what we need. Now the reason why I went ahead and put the first ore collector, and of course they have other names for it in the game. Alright, so what's the first thing that I need to find a new storage for? Well, I need storage for this, this, and these. So it would make sense to me that on this first set, this is where I would put the bioplastic and arrange it alphabetically. So the next one would be the one where I would put the magnesium. And the next pair, which I have not constructed yet, yep, that looks right. And I need another pair. Now we're going to be rebuilding all this at least once or twice. Okay, let's stay over here. Let's see. Now we need osmium. So we'll put the osmium here. And then we would do the silicon in this one. Now we do need to rebuild all this at some point, but we want to do the rebuild with making all the corrections that we need. So we've got miscellaneous here, and in this one we've got the bioplastic. So I need to go up here like this. Now I am kind of cheating a little bit because we don't actually have this unlocked yet. There we go. We probably never will have that much bioplastic to fill up both of those, but... And this one is our magnesium. This early in gameplay, it'd be kind of surprising to actually have that much. Whoops. We're missing the I again. And in this one we have the osmium. Oh, come on, that's supposed to be an M. And in this one we have the silicon. Now, you might be thinking, well, geez, there's no way I'm going to take that much time to organize this thing so that it agrees with how the game organizes things that I collect. I'll just do these additions and we won't worry about getting them in line. And chances are you won't. Now remember, we're doing that outside, so we got to keep an eye on our oxygen and replenish it. So we're going to be bouncing in and out of here. Alright, what's the next thing we need to do? We haven't done this. We did do that, but we did that kind of early before it actually unlocked. So we need to do this, and then we need to, since we're going to be needing a bottle of water quite a bit, we want to go ahead and jump over and get this done. So now what do we need to do? What do we have to have in the way of resources to do a launch platform? Right there. We got to have 3 super alloy, we need 3 titanium, and we need 3 iron. Now, we're not going to be able to connect it to anything right now because our platform is kind of small. And we have not extended it due to a lack of iron. So where we put it just depends on where the game will let us put it. We're not going to be too picky because we can always move stuff around later. Like that. And now what I'm looking for is I'm looking for any resources that might be in the way. Because if I have to, I'll pick up this platform again and place it again if there's any resources hiding under it. You see how it's sunk down right here? Now that we've got this first one built, there's a possibility that we can collect enough resources to have whatever we need. See, already it's got quite a bit in there. Then we'll organize it. And you'll have to check up on that every, was it 6 months or so? Okay, now it's only going to be basic resources, so we've got cobalt here. We went in and picked up some ice, so we'll go ahead and put that in storage. And the amazing thing is, the ice never melts. As long as you've got it in storage, it will not melt. So now we got some more iron to work with. Now we had to put the magnesium over here because we did not have it in the proper order. And we've got silicon here, but titanium is now on this second row. There we go. Now, while you're waiting for more resources to be collected through your first ore extractor, you might want to rack your brain for a minute and try to remember where you saw various resources. Now, if you've got a good memory, you'll remember that we went all the way down here and we put up another what I've been calling a rescue shed. or rescue pod or a shelter so that we can recharge our oxygen as we need to. And we should be coming up one. Oh, I don't see it. Maybe my memory's messing up here and confusing this game with other games that I did. Show and tell or played. So we're trying to collect the resources we normally need. And right about here is where I would normally construct it. So let's go ahead and put in another shelter. Primarily for the recharging of oxygen. Uh-oh, how did that happen? Oh, I clicked there instead of here, I guess. Okay, so we recharge our oxygen, and then we would head off this way, picking up any iron and aluminum and other critical resources that we see along the way. And we're going to need another rescue shelter, so we'll be trying to collect the resources that we will need to construct the next one. Of course, I'm assuming we did not construct one down this way yet. And chances are right about in here we'd start getting nervous about our oxygen supply. And there just happens to be a crate. And we could almost collect everything out of it. Organize it. So this is about where we're going to put the next oxygen supply. And notice that you cannot rotate this, see? It's going to maintain that orientation, which you may not like. So we go up there, we would resupply our oxygen, then since we used a lot of stuff out of inventory, we'd come back over here, grab this, and take away this box. And then we would keep heading down this way. And when we get down to about 1/3 supply of oxygen remaining, we would do like we've been doing all along, putting in another recharge shelter, collecting resources on the wing, so to speak. Uh-oh, my inventory is full. And they've got a name for this spirals. Now if you want to, you can use Google or another search engine, and you would type in Planet Crafter Wiki, W-I-K-I, and that way you can learn the names of all of these biodomes, is what they normally call them. Alright, so I'd have to go ahead and collect this. I can't, my inventory is full, so I'd have to back up a little bit, maybe to here, and put us in another. Maybe right in here. Yeah, that looks good. And we would recharge our oxygen. And here's our critical resource we need. The last place nearby, so we can make another rod. And keep in mind we have to have 9 of these, and if we cannot collect 9 of them, we're going to be unable to create another or extractor. So anything that's not what we need right away, we'll dump in here. Okay, these would be extra. I'll keep one. So I've got 4, so I've got enough space now to where as long as I can collect 9, I'll be in business. And if we can get up here, this will help. Now the other thing that's kind of cool about this is there's also some osmium, which we need to make. We need 2 in order to make another ore extractor. And as far as priorities go, the next ore extractor won't go in here. It'll go back in the, well, we might want to be tempted to call it a cave, but it's really a series of tunnels. So we go in here, we'd charge up. Now, 1, 2, well, let's organize it first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the rest of these we can leave here for now, because we need to focus on what else we might need. Iron is going to be important to us, but we do have a source for iron now. We'll probably need this for oxygen. And we'll go ahead and collect some more of this. All that we can to take it back with us. Okay, so now we got to run through here, trying to stay on a straight path that follows the stone walls. And hopefully we will not run out of oxygen until we get to our next recharge station. Also, I like to call them rescue pods. And we are getting there. So we would stop inside here right quick. We would recharge and then we would head out again. And hopefully we don't have the next rescue pod too far away. Now this archway is your kind of a clue on how to get yourself lined up. Now I'm going as fast as I can right now. Okay, we charge up, then we head for the primary base of operations, I like to call headquarters. Now I kind of hesitate to use the abbreviation HQ because they use HQ for the food that we're going to make later. They call it high quality food. And I use that abbreviation for the locker at some point. HQ food. And we're back. We charge up our oxygen, and then we want to make our next rod. Oh, it won't let me because I don't have a space in my inventory. So that means I've got to drop something, and it would make sense to actually use those if you can, but what we're going to do is we're going to look to see what these are, since they're going to be offering improvements. So now we can make a recycling machine. And we got a T2 torch. So now we could go back here without dropping anything on the floor and make what we need so we could do another ore extractor. So what do we need for the first level ore extractor that we don't have? We don't have a super alloy and we don't have a titanium. So we got super alloy, whoops, there we go. And we need a titanium. And that's going to be all the way back here. Well, if I click on the right one, it will. Or we'll have to pick one up in the wild. Alright, so there we go. Now, where is the next priority location for an ore extractor? Well, in our case, it's going to be over here inside this tunnel complex. It will allow us to put the first level ore extractor in here and start collecting this iridium so we can make more ore extractors. And the next ore extractor that we can make, we want to be putting it in the aluminum field. So we go in here, we charge up, and then we would come out here. Somewhere in this area most likely, where it's kind of a clear spot. And I like to put it in sideways like this, and then put another one more against it, face to face, the first chance I get. But you heard that, didn't you? Now let's see, can we get away with making a short one? This little one right here? Because iron, silicon, and cobalt are pretty easy to come by. Let's see, we gotta line it up. Now you don't have a shadow to use for alignment purposes, so you just kind of have to eyeball as best you can. And notice that was not enough. So about this time I would give up on the idea of doing the short ones. And I would start thinking about doing the bigger one. And instead of doing it in the inside, I would try to do it on the outside here in the sunshine. Just in case it actually makes a difference. But it's going to boil down to what can you collect in the way of resources? Can you collect enough resources to do the big ones, or you're going to have to stick with the small ones? Now, my experience in the past has been I have to do another small one. Or should I call it a short one? Even though it doesn't provide as much kilowatts as a tall one, the supplies are easier to come by. And we finally got enough. So now, about now, we want to check here. Organize it. And then go up here and put stuff away. Alright, what do I have to put away? I've got one aluminum. The next one I have is food. Of course, by now I probably ate this food, but we'll go ahead and stick it in there. And then my cobalt. And they would be here, would be my next stop. Now, if I have 9 of these, then I would be looking at doing another ore extractor. Oh, I don't have any oxygen, but I do have, these two are not in sequence, but I do have this one in the back here, so I'll do that one. I wonder why it didn't transfer. Maybe I was holding down a key other than the control key. Alright, so if we go out here, we can see this one is for silicon, and this one is for magnesium. Now, since I've got more of what we need in order to do food, I would be looking to put in another one of these, and I would collect the resources and put it right in there, and then I would go ahead and transfer it because it's beans, the best supply of food. Now, while I'm at it, I probably should go ahead and collect these, because I'm probably by now getting real short of the space food packs, and I may have already eaten some of this eggplant stuff. All of these might be consumed by now. And the other problem I would be trying to focus on is the fact that I still don't have enough of these out, so I'd be collecting resources and keeping in mind that I don't have enough power for everything right now. But this would always be a priority, because we want to get away from having to use oxygen bottles as soon as possible. And these also offer a growth number of 5. See right there? This is the highest growth that we could buy or install. And we don't have to use ice, we could use water, which is a little bit easier to come by so far. But of course everything's not spinning anymore, so I would be wanting to collect the resources I need for some more of these tall ones, because I gotta get stuff going again. Now right now we're overcast, so I can't really tell if I've got this in the right spot. See, I went too far forward with it. So we'll try again. But I don't have a shadow to work with. So what we have to do is just right about there somewhere. See how it... So we have to move it over a little bit. Now we should be lined up pretty good. And we are. But that was not enough. Now I can't make another one of these yet, so I have to keep making these. I just don't have a choice. Now we could get back to using the shadow. There we go. Now right around that, after I get my oxygen replenished, I'd want to see what our drill we put in here has to offer, because I'm really hot and bothered trying to get in the next ore extractor. And we're going to be putting that one in the aluminum field, because as I already demonstrated, aluminum is a big deal. Okay. And I think we've been away for at least 6 minutes, haven't we? No, we haven't. So we probably don't have enough of what we need to make another iridium rod. But if we don't mind, instead of just taking off and saying, well, we'll have to come back later, we would charge up our oxygen, and then we would go up in this area using the ramp that's available and say, okay, we've probably harvested all we can get from over there. So now let's go this way. I've probably got all I could get over here, but we'll double check. And we'll look behind us also to make sure we didn't miss any. And we'll stay up here on these rocks. Whoa, gotta use the bridge. There's one, there's the one we left to remind us where the box was. And then we'll always be on the lookout for our critical resources like iron, aluminum, and of course we're trying to come up with another 9 of these so we can make another drill. I'm not seeing down there. And somewhere around here is another ramp. Let's see, that's magnesium, which is not a critical resource right now. Let's see, where is that ramp? I'm not seeing it. Well, that looks like it might be safe to fall down, but we've already done this level, so I need to get back up. And we'll use the space bar to get back up. Ah, here we go. There's one we missed. And the ramp I was looking for is right here. There we go. And there's some aluminum. Alright, let's check. Let's see. We've got 2 more spots left. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we could probably change our focus to aluminum. Alright, so now we should be full, and we are. The only problem about coming up here like this is you might be getting desperate for oxygen again. And you might not make it back fast enough to recharge your oxygen supply. So you'd want to put another one up there. It may be delay collecting the iridium and aluminum until you get another rescue shelter up there, or what I also call a recharge station, because that's basically what we use them for. So as usual, I would stop in here and recharge, and then I would head back to the main headquarters or base of operations. And I would be real hot to make a rod about now, another rod. Of course, it's probably true that one's already getting full of resources, but it's not getting full of aluminum. Okay, so we'll go back here. We'll make us a rod. Oh, that's right. It's going to require me to... Did I get any blueprints? No, so I'm going to have to actually dump something. So we'll dump that right there. It was on top of our head. Alright, now we just used up a whole lot of space because we had to have 9 of those. Alright, so now I'd be hot to see, okay, what do I need in the way of resources? If I don't have that memorized yet, which I would not. If I was a new player, I need osmium. And that's pretty much it. If I can come up with 2 more osmium, I'm in business. Now, we couldn't put osmium in the normal sequence, so we're going to have to come out of here and see if we've got any. And we do. I'm not going to bother stopping to unload the stuff that I don't need. And yeah, we're running out of time. We've almost used our full hour. And we're trying not to run overtime this time. And just keep in mind, like I've warned before, what I'm able to do in 1 hour might take you 2 or 3 hours to do, because you've got to go around in a very serious manner collecting resources, organizing your resources and all that kind of good stuff. So I want to come over to about here somewhere and put in that next drill or extractor. Somewhere right in here would be a good spot for it. And of course it kills my power, so then I would be hot to collect what I need to put in another tall solar panel. The short one's just not going to help out all that much. Now we've got sunlight, so we can use the shadow again. So I need to rotate it this way, and that looks pretty good. Boom. And as you can tell, that was not enough. So I would be hot to gather more materials that I need to make another one. And this is going to take a little while for you to do that. And of course I'm going to pretend I just got everything I needed. So I would be hot to race back and install the next tall solar panel. There we go. And notice that just about everything we do now, it takes 2 of those. So I'm kind of wanting to get away from that, but I can't get away from that unless I can make another one of these. Now notice that we need the bottled water, and I think there's still some ice out here, isn't there? If there isn't, we're going to be in trouble. Yep, in fact there's some aluminum and there's some ice. And we're going to put in another solar panel pretty quick. So would like you would be if you're playing a standard game, you're going to need to collect the resource you need for another solar panel. But we would go ahead and take off this way because we need some more uranium. And we know that there's, if we have a good memory, that is, we would know that this would be the way to go in order to get ourselves some more uranium. And we have these places where we stop and recharge our oxygen. In the meantime, we're carrying around an emergency bottle with us. We're just trying not to use it until we've got no choice. Okay, now we got to bear a little bit to the left. Not too much. We've got to stay close to these containers. And do we have space? Yeah, we do. That's really going to solve our problem. And of course, we haven't emptied these two out yet. There is some stuff, blue chest and whatnot, that we can harvest. There's also some more solar panels that we can claim. Now, we haven't put a solar panel out here yet, so it would be a good idea to do that now. And it's going to be a lot easier for us because we just picked up everything we need to make one. There we go. Make sure we get it in the light. And that's going to open up some space so we can collect some more of this other stuff. Okay, we've got a little bit of space now. We'll organize it. We'll eat some food if we need to. We'll make another oxygen bottle if we need to. We'll make another water bottle if we need to. But of course, that's assuming that we put what we need in there. Now, we've already got what we need for another drill in here. We've got what we need for another oxygen bottle. But our critical thing right now is not collecting anything but this right here, because we're having problems with power. So we're going to have to go ahead and dump some of this stuff again, or we're going to have to convert it. Now, I did not put in a crafting station last time I was here, and so we need to do that now. And then we need to make oxygen bottles, water bottles. And what that does for me is it opens up more space. And if I'm anywhere near thirsty, I'd go ahead and drink this. And I'd probably need to use this pretty soon, while we're on the way of trying to get what we need. Now let's see, we also want to try to put in food growers in all of these outposts. And I've only got eggplant with me, but that'll work. Now if you remember what I showed in a previous episode, we would want to go this way. And oh, what's going on here? Oh, look at all this nice stuff. And then we would go ahead and take this box. And then we would probably say, oh geez, I've got my inventory full again. So let's take a shortcut and go back. And we've got a lot of stuff we will not need, but we need the space. So we'll leave this one behind. If we're hungry, we'll eat that. We'll drop these. I've got a water bottle in here somewhere, don't I? Or did I use that already? Well, we got some ice, so let's make one. Alright, now let's see what the situation is. Alright, we'll dump that. We'll organize extra. Right now, I would consider these extra. The rest of it, I would want to keep. And what I'm doing is I'm looking for 9 of those. If I could come up with 9 of those, I could solve a lot of problems with my power. Now, do you remember me showing you this already? There is a shortcut up here. Otherwise, we've got to keep going in this way until we can get around these mountainous areas. Hop, hop, hop. There we go. I think we're there, aren't we? I didn't mark the entrance yet with something that glows. Yeah, we're there. We're at the shortcut. And we should be real close. Uh-oh. I haven't claimed the box of stuff here yet. But there is uranium here. See all that green stuff in there? We'll take that. We'll organize it. I've got 3, so I need 6 more. So before I take anything else out of there, I'll collect 6 more of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We'll leave the rest of them for next time. There's not that many of them left, as you can see. Now this one only has one way in and out, so now we still got some room, so we would focus on what can we use out of here. And we would be real hot to try to build a shelter right here, even if we have to put stuff back in there for now, because we're gonna need to recharge our oxygen again. Go a little bit higher, collect the resources we need for a door, and then we would turn our attention back to this. And it's empty, so we would go ahead and claim it. Then we go in here and we would regain our oxygen. Make sure we've got the 9 that we need for a rod. So there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, so we're good. Now we do have a couple of slots left over, so if we come across some iron and even silicon, we would want to collect them. Now this time I'm not going to take the shortcut that goes right through here. I'm going to assume I've got at least 1 extra oxygen bottle with me, and I'm not thirsty. I've already satisfied that requirement. I'm not hungry. I've satisfied that requirement. So we can afford and expect to survive taking the scenic route. That's what I usually call it. And there's a satellite in there. If we had plenty of space left over in our backpack, our avatar's inventory, we would get all we could out of there, focusing on the critical resources that we need for whatever it is we're going to craft next. And right now we're focused on restoring our power, so we're looking at doing another power station that requires 1 uranium rod. Uh-oh, we're going over our time limit of 1 hour. So as soon as we get back and we're able to restore our power, we're going to have to say that's it for now, folks. Alright, now we could keep going this way because we've got one shelter over here, but we've got one over here also, and we should have at least one emergency oxygen bottle that we can rely on to get back. If we could just make it to the recharge station right there. The door's on this side of it. There you go. We recharged, and then we would continue to the next recharge station. And there's our archway that we want to go through, which will line us up nice and pretty with the recharge station. Now everything else where we would want to install another ore extractor is going to require a T2 ore extractor. So we're going to have to wait until that unlocks. Like that uranium cave, it's a true cave, there's only one way in and out. That requires a T2 ore extractor to get some more uranium. And we're almost back. Of course, at this point we're going to be focused on recharging our oxygen. We might even start getting thirsty about now. And while we're in here, we're going to want to create our next rod. And it'll be a green one this time. And right now we've got enough power. Everything is spinning like it is. So we will not take the time to construct, but we might take the time to come over here and eat some of these vegetables and try to save the rest of the space food packs we might have. So it's time for us to hit the old escape key, save it, and then go to the main menu and say be well until next time.